All right, good evening, everybody. Welcome to DuePoint. I hope everyone's well. Thursday evening, we feel like it's the weekend already. The weather is warm. And welcome to everyone who's tuned into our live stream around the country. My name is Rob van der Bijl. I'm one of the executives here at DuePoint. I'm going to be spending the next 45 minutes with you as I go through who DuePoint is, what we're all about, what the opportunity is all about, and then you are very welcome to come speak to me afterwards, ask me any questions that you might have. All right, so let's begin. As you can see, we're a division of another company called Constantia Insurance Company Limited. Constantia is a registered insurance company in South Africa. We've been around since 1952, so for a very long time. We don't share offices with Constantia, but they are just down the road here in Randburg. You might not recognize their branding or their name because they've never dealt with consumers before. They've always traditionally dealt with other financial institutions. They've underwritten a lot of other so-called insurance businesses in the country, but for the first time through DuePoint are we now directly approaching consumers. So I'm sure you'll become very familiar with the brand going forward. The FSP number that we operate under is that one over there. That's very important. That's our Financial Services Provider License number. That means we are regulated by the Financial Services Board. We've got a host of financial licenses, so you'll see them framed and up on the wall in the foyer, because that's what the law says you have to do. They're also available on our website for you to peruse. You can go to the FSB website and check there too. But we've got a long and short-term insurance license, we've got our FSP license, and we've got an investment license. We've also put up our accreditation with the direct marketing and the direct selling associations. I want you to trust the business we're going to be speaking about. That is a fundamental step in proposing any partnership or collaboration. No transaction can ever happen without trust. And so I hope those details lend credibility to us. The fact that we've been around for so long, again, lends credibility to us, and you're very welcome to go Google us. We're listed on the Joburg Stock Exchange under a group called Conduit Capital. The managers and executives are these individuals up on screen. So we usually start with the accountants. I've been doing that for 2 years. I'm tired of starting with the accountants. Let's start with the two non-accountants on the far right. So myself and Jane are non-accountants. It makes it sound as if we're not as clever or as important as the accountants. But anyway, Jane is very experienced in direct marketing, referral marketing, network marketing. She's been doing it pretty much all her working life. She's from the UK. She's been in South Africa for about 10 years, but she brings really important experience to our team because we're an insurance company. But the marketing model that we've adopted here at DuePoint is one of network marketing, and that's what we depend on to grow our brand in South Africa. And so Jane's experience is very important to us. I've been working in advertising pretty much since the day I left school, design and advertising. So for about 25 years, I ran my own agency for about 15 years, fairly successfully. But I was tired of chasing clients and briefs and money every single month. And so I exited that business. And then we got our three accountants. So starting with our senior executive, Brendan, he heads up this division. He's very experienced in financial services, particularly in insurance, I guess predominantly because of his father. His father started Clientele Life. His father's been the CEO of a host of businesses in South Africa in the insurance space. He's had a lot of success in that space. Brendan and his brother Stuart followed in their father's footsteps. They both became CAs, also got involved in the business, so to speak, and together they founded a business down the road called Prime Meridian Direct, or PMD, which is now the fourth biggest short-term insurer in the country, and I think it's only their 9th birthday this year. So we've got some lovely financial pedigree in the Benfields. Great to have Brendan heading up the division. Tim and Stacey, they look after all the auditing, the accounting, and a lot of the financial regulatory requirements in our business, all fairly important stuff. So this is our senior team. We've got client service staff, we've got admin staff, but the mandate of staff of DuePoint is to support everybody that decides to join us in this collaboration. So we want to see people that join us here at DuePoint being effective, profitable, and happy at DuePoint. If we can achieve those three things, then as a business we will be successful. And so everything that we do, the money that we invest in technology, is all geared to support you in this endeavor. All right, so that's a little bit of background on the business and the people. Very quickly, we go over the debt slide. I don't know how long I should be spending on the debt slide. I try not to speak about these negative aspects of our lives too much. But I think it's important to highlight the fact that a lot of people perhaps turn a blind eye to the exacerbating effect of debt right? It's almost that we take on debt, and it's almost like a natural part of life. I mean, no one can afford to buy a house cash or a car cash, and so debt is just a part of life. But our business here at DuePoint is about creating wealth. And I'll speak about that a little bit more. And to start creating real wealth, you have to get rid of your debt. You can't be forever indebted and try to work on your wealth at the same time. And so I think it's important to highlight the fact that debt is something that's seriously wrong with regards to our personal finance environment. And it really comes to a head when we get to retirement. Especially in the state of affairs at the moment. We've got the average increase in salaries sitting at 2% for the last 8 years. Inflation on average is sitting at 4.5%. Our salaries are going backwards 2.5% year on year on average for the last 8 years. And has put people in a position where they are in absolutely no position to start putting money into investments and savings and retirement products. And that comes to an end when you get to retirement, because when you get to retirement, you've got to look back at the 45 years that you've worked for somebody going, okay, over that time period, I was able to put this retirement fund or this pension fund together so that I can have a dignified retirement. And that doesn't happen for the majority of South Africans. Something like 90+% of South Africans will get to retirement financially dependent. Right? That's a massive amount. And what our business is about taking control of your income so that you can change that circumstance, that future for yourself. And so Constantia saw the opportunity to create this division called DuePoint. We launched the DuePoint system 2.5 years ago, so in February 2016, with a couple of aspirations that I want to share with you in mind for not only the business, but for people that join us here at DuePoint. Number one being get rid of your debt as quickly as possible. Our business is not solely about creating an additional income for yourself once a month. It's about wealth creation. So it goes beyond just creating additional income. It speaks to the fact of getting rid of debt so that you can empower yourself to create wealth. And the language here at DuePoint is always geared around those aspirations. Get rid of your debt, focus on wealth creation. We create wealth through the ownership of assets. That's very important to note. And assets can take on many forms, investments, property, whatever. And hopefully those assets appreciate. And I think if you can achieve those two things, you will solve a lot of your problems. Brendan often says in his training, money can solve about 95% of your problems, right? At least the lack thereof causes a lot of problems. So those are the aspirations of our business. You can obviously align yourselves with those. You don't have to. It's completely up to you. How does our business work? Our guest this evening, you have the opportunity to join this business called DuePoint. We will refer to you as a wealth engineer once you join us, because that's what we're here to do. And your single task, your only focus, is to go out and build your channel of distribution. So I'll show you what a channel of distribution looks like, but your task is basically just going out and connecting other people to DuePoint. That's all you have to do. Tell people about this business opportunity. If you are successful in that process, and you can get a few people interested in becoming wealth engineers themselves and product owners, that successful process leads to a host of benefits that you get to enjoy in the DuePoint system. Foremost being that you get to create additional income, right? A second paycheck at the end of every month. The nature of the income that we produce here is very important. This is the primary reason I left my business, because our business didn't do this. We didn't create recurring income. So it takes on many different descriptions: passive income, annuity income, but a lot of businesses don't get to enjoy that benefit. Insurance companies, actually inherent to insurance companies, creating recurring income. What is recurring income? It's the ability to make money while you're sleeping. Right? Think about that. Who even thought that was possible, to make money while you were sleeping? Right? We are mostly, whether you're involved typically in small business or you're employed, you're involved in active income. If you don't go to work next month, how much are you going to earn at the end of September? 0, right? And that is active income, right? It pays the bills. It has certainly place in your life. But if we're talking about wealth creation, you want to be involved in a business that you can spend time investing time in 1 month, and it doesn't only pay you during that month, but the next month, and the month after that, and the month after that, because we're building a channel of distribution here which is treated as an asset, and the asset is what creates the income for you, right? It is the ability to make money while you're sleeping. We also take advantage of the power duplication. So this is kind of something that's inherent to a lot of network marketing businesses. Is the remuneration model is based on leverage. This is an awesome thing because, again, it frees you of the constraint of time, right? You have the opportunity to go out and find other individuals that will help you build your channel of distribution. So there's this collaboration that can take place. If you're able to find 10 other people doing the same work that you're doing, building your channel, you pretty much effectively have just increased your recurring income by tenfold, the growth of your channel by tenfold, right? So that's an advantage that you certainly want to use. Our business is flexi time. That just means that you can really do this business anytime, anywhere. The investment in technology here at DuePoint has allowed you that opportunity. The app that runs on your phone, you can grow your channel in any town in this country, any day, any time of the day. Right? So the business is very flexible. We've designed the business to have a very low barrier to entry, purposely to make it as accessible to people as possible. I do not want you to have to consider this proposition that I'm speaking about this evening, worrying about the risk. We've designed it so there's almost no risk in this business, right? There's no boxes of product you have to invest in. We're not going to ask you for a lump sum of 20,000 Rand to get started, or registration fees or starter kits. None of that. At the same time, we don't care about qualifications or experience. We only care about whether you're willing to keep yourself accountable to just working in this business. Really, that's all. You get to build an asset. Now, for me, this is probably one of the most important benefits because what I'm proposing to you this evening is that I want your free time. That's what I'm proposing, right? You've got to spend less time watching TV, relaxing with family, so that you can spend time doing DuePoint. But know that the time you're investing in DuePoint is in building a channel of distribution that's treated as an asset that you have legal tender over. Your channel of distribution here at DuePoint, you own it. So that means you can sell it. If it's producing 10,000 Rand a month in income, it has asset value. You can sell it. We've had a number of wealth engineers that have bought and sold channels in the last 2 years. It also means that it'll pay you beyond retirement. Your active income is going to end around 60, right? When your boss starts asking you what type of cake you like when you start getting close to 60, you know what that means. Your income is going to end all of a sudden. And then you've got to ask yourself that horrible question, well, have I saved enough money to have a dignified retirement? If you have an asset, right, whether it's DuePoint or a property, the income that you earn off that asset pays you beyond retirement. It'll pay you through your 60s, your 70s, your 80s, your 90s. When you finally die at 108, you get to pass that value on to the next generation. You will cede your asset like any other asset in your will to your beneficiaries, right? And so you will pass wealth on to the next generation, hopefully. There is no selling involved in our business. So this might confuse some of the guests. What are we going to be doing here at DuePoint? You are only going to be connecting people to the business opportunity. You do not have to worry about our products. Myself and Brendan, our website, the review videos on the products that we do, those medium will talk about the products. You don't have to talk about products. You're only going to be connecting people to business opportunity. And that's the number one commodity that exists in South Africa today. People are looking, they need income opportunities, and that's all you're going to be doing. Telling them, I have an income opportunity, come sit down, whether it's 15 minutes, for an hour, listen to the presentation, make up your own mind. That's all you're going to be doing. No selling involved in our business. The nature of our products are financial in nature, and that's a great convenience again, because we don't have stock and distribution issues, right? We never run out of products here at DuePoint, ever. And you don't have to worry about them taking up space in your garage at home or in the boot or any of that. All right. So those are the host of benefits in the DuePoint system. Your success is certainly dependent on your ability to build a channel of distribution. So I said I was going to show you what one looks like. It begins with you. You become a wealth engineer and a product owner, and now you're tasked with connecting other people to this business. And in this example, you've connected 5 people. So you might have had to speak to 10 people or 15 people for 5 to say, yes, they want to become wealth engineers. But from this point onwards, your channel will take on a life of its own, whether you like it or not, because the 5 people that you connected to the business became wealth engineers for the income opportunity, and so they will go out and start building their channels. in turn building your channel. And that's where the collaboration takes place. This is the power duplication that can happen over time, right? You have to give it time for it to get to the size that you see up on the screen. And not everyone builds. You can see there's one lazy person that never did anything, right? That's going to happen statistically. But this is what your channel can look like. You are being paid potentially for every single dot that you see on the screen every single month, because we build recurring income. This is the asset that you're going to be building, and the asset is what creates the income for you. My hope is that you will be very discerning in who you bring into your business, because it'll have an effect on your entire channel. If you bring good, strong, resourceful people that can thrive as wealth engineers into your business, that behavior will flow into the rest of your channel. If you're a little desperate at the beginning and you bring desperate, needy people at the beginning who don't have resources to build their channels, right, that same behavior will filter into the rest of your channel. And this will collapse every other month. If you build a strong channel, then your channel becomes more sustainable. I want to see wealth engineers in 5-10 years' time that can disengage from their channels because it's taken a life of its own, and you've got an asset that is paying true recurring income without you having to nurse it and keep pushing it every single month, right? And that's why we invest time in building assets. So that's what a channel of distribution looks like. A quick warning. Like any entrepreneurial opportunity, it takes hard work. I know there are many schemes in South Africa that make all kinds of promises about income generation. Generally, if it's too good to be true, it's too good to be true, right? So if you've ever had the pleasure of trying to start your own business, you will appreciate the fact that starting a business and making it successful is not easy. And that's why we've got the picture of the ballerina's feet. Right? It's a great analogy, because we sometimes romanticize successful entrepreneurship, because from the outside you see a successful entrepreneur, they've got a nice car, a nice house, they dress nicely, they're married to a good-looking person, even the dog is good-looking at their house, right? And you look at that from the outside. But don't make the mistake in thinking, oh, they must have gotten lucky, or they were in the right place at the right time, or they knew somebody. You scratch a little bit at the surface, that is what it requires. There's no way around it, right? So I see no one's getting up to leave yet. I can appreciate that everyone's here willing to work on wealth slowly and sustainably. Good, we can carry on then. So that's my warning to you. We have got 4 products here at DuePoint. I'm going to go over them. They have been designed to be straightforward products. Their benefit is all financial in nature. That's quite an important point. The products are designed either to, again, with wealth generation in mind. So the products are either designed to create investment or protect assets or to lower your cost of living. All right? So our first product is called Access Wealth. It is our investment product. It's going to cost you 324 Rand a month, of which 100 Rand gets invested into a tax-free investment fund. Right? That sits with Sanlam. We've got GFA as our global fund administrator. So it's an actively managed fund, and you've got complete access to that account. There's no delay or notice period when you want to draw your funds out of that account. And we give you 120,000 Rands worth of personal accident cover with this product. So if you have this Access Wealth product in place, you've got 100 Rand being invested, and you can bump that 100 Rand up to 2,500 Rand a month if you like, because we're taking advantage of tax-free legislation that exists in South Africa. And you are killed in any form of accident, we'll pay out your beneficiaries 120,000 Rand plus whatever's in the investment. So this is Access Wealth, product number 1, the investment product. Product number 2 is strictly insurance. It is personal accident cover only. It costs 249 Rand every month, but this time you get 1 million Rands worth of personal accident cover. Now, if you don't know what personal accident cover is, it is not cover for death related to illness or natural causes. Right? You have to die in an accident. But the beauty of this product is that we can make it accessible to everybody, regardless of age. As long as you're over the age of 18, you can take this product out. You can be 60. You can be diabetic. You can have a heart condition. The premium remains the same for everybody, and the amount of cover that you receive remains the same for everybody. Right? So this is Wealth Guard, personal accident cover. The third product is our new family wealth product. It is funeral cover. It starts at 299 Rand a month. You get 20,000 Rands worth of funeral cover. It covers up to 5 family members. You get 10,000 Rands worth of debt protection. So in other words, if you owe anyone money upon your death, we will pay out up to 10,000 Rand to that entity or business. And the beauty of this product, again, is the accessibility, because we have no excluded pre-existing conditions, right? So again, you can be any age over the age of 18. I think the limit is 69 years of age, and you can be in any health condition, and you can still take out this product and still receive that full amount of cover. You can bump this up to 30,000 Rands worth of funeral cover, as well as up to 10 family members. So very innovative product. I don't think there's a product like this in the country. And then lastly, our Wealth Points product. This product aims to reduce your cost of living every month. Right, so for 299 Rand a month, you get to enjoy discounts that we've negotiated with the list of companies that you see there. And we've tried to cover as much as, a broad spectrum of what we typically think people spend money on every month. So we've got a data partner, because I bet everyone spends money on data. We've got ShopRite Checkers, right? Probably the biggest grocery chain in the country. We've got a number of online retailers. We've even got car manufacturers. So if anyone's looking to buy a Range Rover this month, I hope that you will go to Jaguar Land Rover Sandton, because they'll make sure that you get the best price in the country and the best service. So the discounts vary with each one of those. The entertainer gives you pretty much half price to restaurants and hotels, and we are adding new partners to this product all the time. So if you're looking for immediate benefit, Wealth Points is a wonderful product. If you have any questions on the product, come see me. But I need to make a point, because people only come ask me about product after this presentation. There is benefit to the products that we have, right? But if you had to weigh the two up, because our business is very much split into the product side of our business, which you don't really get involved in when you start building your channel, and then we've got the business side of our business. The benefits on the product, they exist. We've just gone through them. The benefits on the business opportunity far outweigh the benefits of what the product can offer you, right? Do you understand that? Access Wealth, you can be putting in 2,500 Rand a month into Access Wealth for a year. That fund can perform at 20%. Your business, if you do a little bit of work on the business, can outstrip the success you had on the investment product 1,000 to 1. Right? So always keep that in mind. That's why we spend 10 minutes on the products and 35 minutes on the business opportunity. So very quickly, what separates us from other typical financial service providers? Our business model. We get asked the question, well, how does DuePoint, how are we able to pay out our wealth engineers, take them on holiday, buy cars, all these things that we do? It is basically the fact that we don't spend money on marketing and advertising, right? So the business down the road, Prime Meridian Direct, spend a fortune every day on marketing and advertising. And that money goes to companies like DSTV, The Star, all these media houses, outdoor billboard companies, all of that. We don't do any advertising. We don't spend a cent on marketing here at DuePoint. And so that means instead of spending the billions that typically the insurance industry spends every single year, we can take that portion of our budget and attribute it to what we call our returns and our rewards program, which is to your benefit, right? Because we reward you for you helping us grow our brand in South Africa. And that's basically, very basically, how our business model works. Onto our returns program. This is how you earn that extra income every single month, right? So this is the mechanics of the returns. We pay a base return fee of 27.50 Rand for every product that you have in your channel every month. Remember, it's always recurring income. So in the example, we had 5 people that you introduced to DuePoint. That product lies on what we call your first point, right? Because the product is 1 point away from you. And you see, according to the table, that amount that we pay you varies according to where that product lies in relation to you. So on point 1, you actually earn double the 27.50 Rand. So you're earning 55 Rand for every product. And when those individuals go out and build your channel, their channel, that product lies on your second point. And again, on your second point, you earn 55 Rand for every product every month. And then as your channel starts to grow, you'll see the multiplier starts to drop steadily. So this example goes all the way up to point 8. But you'll see there's a little plus next to point 8, because we don't stop you at point 8. From point 8 onwards, in theory, into infinity, you'll keep earning the 4% of the 27.50 Rand. So there's no limit on the size of your channel. There is no limitation on how much money you can earn at DuePoint. This business is about time and numbers. I've always said, you take care of the numbers the time will take care of itself, right? You can't rush the time. No one's been able to manipulate time yet. So you just have to be patient and let your channel, let the people in your channel start to duplicate so that you get to harness that leverage that exists. So this is the mechanics of the returns. It's very straightforward. The next typical question is often around, well, how much money do people make in this business? Is my time worth it? How quickly can I get the money that I need in the business? And so what we did was we built this path to success. It is a 5-year projection, right? It is based on an assumption. The assumption is that in your first month you can bring 3 people into the business, and every consecutive month thereafter you only have to bring in 2. So in August, for example, you bring 3 people, right? That gets you qualified to start earning. Then in September you bring in another 2, October another 2, November another 2, December another 2, and you keep bringing 2 people into perpetuity for the next 5 years. If you can follow that growth model, you can expect to earn these numbers. 2,500 Rand after 6 months of work here at DuePoint. Now, I'm always interested to understand what people's perception of money is, because remember, our business is about wealth creation. If you give most people, including myself, 2,500 Rand, I'm going to spend it, right? How long will 2,500 Rand last in your handbag or your wallet? If the cash was there, a couple of 200 Rand notes, maybe a couple of hundreds, 2 20s and a 10. How long will it last? As consumers, I can tell you that we give money spending value, right? But someone who's focused on wealth creation can look at 2,500 Rand and go, I can leverage that to make more money out of the 2,500 Rand. And you do it by paying your debt off faster, right? And I'll illustrate it to you. So here we have an example of someone with a 1 million Rand bond. Right? I was speaking to a real estate agent this morning. She says, this is such an awesome example because where she stays, they've got a lot of 1 million Rand apartments, young couples coming to look at buying apartments, and they will obviously finance it because no one's got 1 million Rand in their bank account, right? You go ask the bank for a loan, they look at your credit history, they look at your salary, and they go, right, this is the interest rate we're prepared to give you over 20 years, and you agree to it. At prime plus 2, you're paying 11,500 Rand a month for 20 years before you become a homeowner. Everyone want to be homeowners, right? But you join DuePoint, and 6 months later, you're earning an extra 2,500 Rand a month. And instead of spending the money, you can put it into your bond as an additional payment, because the net effect of that action will reduce the bond from 20 years to 11 and a half years. So if you're 30, you become a homeowner at 41. You might age 40 at 51 instead of 61. Do you know how much money this saves you in interest charges? It's not theoretical. This is hard cash that you would have paid to the bank. It's just saved you just under 900,000 Rand that you would have paid to the bank. You take 20 years, you pay 2.5 million to the bank. You take 11 and a half years, you only pay the bank 1.5 million. That's 6 months away. You have to empower yourself to leverage the money that you're earning. At month 12, you're earning in excess of 100,000 Rand in annual recurring income. Often ask the audience, anyone get a 100,000 Rand bonus this year? We had one person, but that was like a year ago. Put his hand up. I did. Right, there it is. Imagine coming to DuePoint's head office and picking up a 100,000 Rand check every December. Remember, it's recurring income, it's not once off. You keep going. At month 24, you're earning close to 30,000 Rand a month. At month 36, we're now at 50,000 Rand a month. Another lovely example with regards to property. At month 30, 36,000 Rand. You put that as an additional payment in a 5 million Rand bond. You'll pay that 5 million Rand house off in less than 7 years. Pay your debt off, then you can start investing. You can buy another property, pay that off in 7 years. Buy a third property. So in 21 years, I'm 40, so when I'm 61, I could own 3 properties. I live in one that I paid off 14 years ago. I'm renting the other 2 out for 70, 80,000 Rand a month. That is the retirement we have to plan. But it requires this very boring decision, because for me at least, earning an extra 36,000 Rand, I'd be like, I want to buy a Porsche rather than pay my bond off, right? And that's, as consumers, that's how we think. At month 48, you're close to 70,000 Rand a month. And after 5 years, so 1 year after the Qatar World Cup, you could be earning close to 1 million Rand in annual recurring income. Now, I'm happy for any skeptic to come to me and say, oh, this is just theoretical. it's academic. You've got the growth model. I mean, if it carries on for the next 30 years, you're going to be earning 2 million rand a month or whatever it is, right? And I'll agree with you, because it is theoretical, it's academic. But we invite real people up onto stage that show us their journey, that come tell us of their experience here at DuePoint, because that's very important for us. I've been involved in advertising. I understand the power of testimony. You might look at me and go, be skeptical, but other people, wealth engineers that come on stage, I hope you're less skeptical. We actually had one person that said, no, these are actors that you're bringing up onto stage. I was like, okay, that's a bit far-fetched. So yeah, we've got Andries Lottering. He's been in the business for 23 months, so nearly 2 years. The value of his channel sitting at 3,500 Rand. We've paid him to date in total close to 23,000 Rand. The first pointers, that's the amount of work he's done personally in the last 2 years. So he's put in 15 people that is connected to the business. In terms of leverage, he's leveraged that to 91 products in his channel, right? So his channel's grown to 91 products based on those 15 people that he put in. So you could look at this and go, well, 3,500 Rand a month for 2 years, I don't know if that's worth it, right? But remember that question you ask yourself at retirement, how much money do I have in a bank account? Because you've got to survive on the interest. He's created equivalent of 834,000 Rand in a bank account at 5% interest, which would pay out 3,500 Rand. Right? And Andries got a unique story. He's got a health condition that doesn't allow him to leave home. He can't drive. So he's stuck at home, but he's able to run his DuePoint business because it works off the palm of your hand, off your phone, right? Extremely flexible. We've got Petrus, I think he's also from Kempton Parkside. He's been in the business for 10 months. He has been tracking 3+2 quite closely. So the value of his channel is sitting at 4,500 Rand already. He's introduced 14 people into his business. It's translated to 121 people. And he's done that in 10 months. So he's tracking 3+2 fairly closely, and that's equivalent of having 1.1 million Rand in a bank account with regards to recurring income. And then finally, we've got Casper and Madeleine. They're from Pretoria. They joined 2 years ago. So their story is also interesting. You'll see everyone's different. They've got wildly different statistics. Value of his channel sitting at nearly 8,000 Rand. Look how many people he's introduced in 2 years. That bottom figure. 8! So you know he's always in trouble when he comes to see us, because we shout at him. We say, how can you only bring 8 people? But the story of this example is that Casper, whether it was by design or complete luck, he brought in very strong people on his first point. Because those people translated to 665 products in his channel. That 8,000 Rand should probably be closer to 20,000 Rand, but he's got to unlock some of the points in his business. Right? Everybody is different. We've got thousands of people joining this business every single month, and everyone is running a different race, primarily because different circumstances, perhaps different belief systems, different belief in this business, whatever the reasons are. Everyone is different. Right? You don't have to look at these people to decide what you want. You are free to decide what you want out of the business, because the system is exactly the same for everybody here at DuePoint. And so for me, the decision really is not about what you want, it's about what you're willing to do for it. I always ask the wealth engineers that we invite onto stage, because they'll typically say, oh, the last 2 years, oh, it was so difficult then and it was easy here. My question always at the end of it is, has it been worth it for you? Are you going to carry on, or do you look back and go, geez, it wasn't worth it? And none of them have ever said, no, it hasn't been worth it. So for me, I want you to decide what you want out of this business and whether practically you're able to fit this business into your life. Practically, what does it look like? Can you do DuePoint every weeknight? Can you do it at lunchtime during work? Can you do it on Saturdays or Sundays? What does that look like? How do you fit this business into your life? Becoming a wealth engineer is very straightforward. You just jump onto our website, or the person that brought you here, they'll have an app on their phone that allows you to join through the app. It takes 7 minutes to become a wealth engineer. It really is a non-event. You have to start applying yourself now to this business that you've taken on, that you've adopted. It's not a New Year's resolution. It's not a hobby. This business can change your life. So I want you to take it seriously. Read the code of conduct. I'm sure no one reads the code of conduct. It's like Google saying, read the fine print. No one reads the fine print. You just hit accept, right? Complete the online training. So we've created so much training. There's so much knowledge in the testimony and the training that we've prepared. Go look at that. It's not that much. Set goals for yourself. Again, back to my point, and probably the most underestimated task that anyone does in life is that people don't like setting goals for themselves. A goal is something you write down with a deadline, right? Because that's the only way you can prepare direction, to prepare a plan to get to that goal. So do that. And then this business gets distilled down to a single metric. There's one thing that you keep yourself accountable to in this business. How many people do you need to speak to a month? Nothing else. Doesn't matter whether people say yes or no, people build, people don't build, people cancel, people don't pay their full price. Don't worry about that stuff. The one metric you worry about is how many people do I need to speak to get to my goal? And that's the number you keep up on your fridge. That's the number of people that you have to speak to. That is all that is required in this business. Get the merchandise. The merchandise paints a picture of credibility. Whenever you try to connect anyone to this business, they are summing you up in a split second, right? I worked in branding and advertising pretty much all my career. This will help you. This is not designed to be a profit center for us. Please consider getting business cards. Because if you sit down and you look like you take the business that you're proposing to another person seriously, you will have more success. Join our Facebook page. So we are running campaigns on the Facebook page. We produce content daily for Facebook. So if you want your finger on the pulse here at DuePoint, make sure you're on Facebook. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. We've got all our videos on there. We've got about 500 plus videos that exist there already over the 2 years. But more importantly, it tells you every time we turn that camera on. So the camera at the back there is live streaming this globally, and that happens 8 times a week. That is your opportunity to build this business overnight in any town in South Africa. All you have to do is pick up the phone, speak to someone in Cape Town, tell them to click on the link that you've just sent them, and suddenly your channel is growing in another town. Right? Download the mobile app. So the moment you become a wealth engineer, download the mobile app onto Apple and Android devices. It is your business in your pocket. You can do business anywhere as long as you've got your mobile phone with you. All right, onto our rewards program. So this is the second way to benefit as a wealth engineer. This really is the cherry on top. It is not as important as creating the recurring income, right? But people get more excited about this because the rewards are so tangible and tactile, and you can connect with the rewards more easily than just cash every single month. But it is really just the cherry on top here at DuePoint. How does this work? When you become a wealth engineer, you will start earning something called XP. It stands for experience points. Right? And it doesn't matter what you do. You log into your phone, you do intro presentations at home, you've got guests, you earn XP for a plethora of different things. And as you start collecting more XP and your channel grows in size, you get to rank up and enjoy rewards with each of the ranks. So you'll start out as rank 0, you need 1,000 XP, that can be done in 60 seconds, you need 4 products in your qualified channel, and suddenly you rank 1, and at rank 1 we give you a once-off 55 Rand reward. So all the rewards here are once-offs, it's not recurring, okay? And then as you collect more XP and your channel grows, the rewards get bigger and better. So you can see there's a 20,000 Rand check waiting for you, a 50,000 Rand check. We give tools to our wealth engineers along the way that help them be more effective in their channel building. So fancy little USB drives that plug into pretty much any device with a lot of our video collateral on there. We've got rank 7. So we had a lady that's just gone rank 7. She came into the office this week. You'll probably see it in the email going out tomorrow. She's just got her rank 7 business cards. And these are business cards that cost us 12,500 Rand to manufacture per set. I went to town on these business cards. Right? Who's willing to spend 12,500 Rand on business cards? But again, it speaks to credibility, because I promise you, if you sit down in a meeting and you pull out a 12,500 Rand business card, right, it weighs about 5 times more than a normal business card. It's only got gold on it. It'll make an impression of credibility. At rank 9 is our first recurring reward. So this is the first recurring reward that happens in our rewards program. We take you and your family on our Rank 9 International Conference every single year going forward for the rest of your life. Business class flights there and back, a 5-star luxury resort for 7 days, all expenses paid trip every single year for the rest of your life. So let's take a look at Rank 9 because we documented it. You might recognize some of the wealth engineers here. And I hope that you can imagine your toes in the sand yourself when you watch this video.
All of your wind has gone. sun where no one can see. You stand, don't let the dark embrace. Cower the dreams you chase under the rust and blood. Don't let yourself give up.
So that's what you get to enjoy every single year as a Rank 9 going forward. We are currently running a campaign called the Road to Rank 9 on our Facebook page. So if you are keen on winning 2,000 Rand, we've got a number of wealth engineers that will win 2,000 Rand, 10 I think. Get onto our Facebook page, go check out the Road to Rank 9 campaign, tag a few people in it, and you will be in the running for that extra cash. So everyone's taken a different amount of time to get to Rank 9. We've got one gentleman got to Rank 9 in 5 months, one couple 11 months, 18 months, 2 years. It is up to you. Right? We don't reset your XP to 0 every year. It's not an annual race. You just keep building your asset. When your asset gets to 1,000 products, you rank 9, you get to come on the rank 9 trip for the rest of your life. So that's rank 9. At rank 11, we spend R250,000 buying our wealth engineer, our rank 11 wealth engineer, a brand new car. So take your pick. You can choose any car you like. We can even contribute to a more expensive car if you like, but we will pay cash for that car. There's no lease agreement, there's no terms. We buy the car cash in your name. You get to drive it off our parking lot with a little bit of fanfare. So this has happened. Some wealth engineers have got there in less than 2 years. We've got another 2 wealth engineers that are about to get to rank 11. We have just started. Right? A lot of people might think, well, they got a millionaire's holiday every single year with their family. They've got a car that they're driving around with no debit order at the end of the month. They're rich. I'm saying you're not rich. This is just the start of things to come for you. Our rewards program goes up to rank 28, right? And it gets bigger and better with every single rank. This business, we have a 20, 30-year outlook when we sit down and have our management meetings. So if you're successful here at DuePoint, we're going to become lifelong friends because we will be on holiday together a lot over many, many years. So this is our rewards program. And that's it, folks. I invite our guests this evening to come try this business called DuePoint. Right? We are fairly confident in our business model. We don't sign you into any long-term contracts. You can quit this business at any time. My point is that this business is low risk enough that you should consider. Right? just comes down to whether you're willing to put time into this business to see if it works for you or not. So that is my invitation to you. You are joining a business where we all collaborate together. You have got all the support in the world. We want to see you successful. And I hope that you can make 2018, or what's left of it, turn around. Because how often do we get to the end of the year and you see everybody on Facebook moaning about the year that's just finished, all saying, 2019 is going to be my year. 2019 is going to be the year, right? And then 2019 goes past and everyone's moaning. Everything is against us, right? You cannot depend on the employment sector anymore. It's time to take control of your own income for once. And that is my invitation to you. If you have any questions, come speak to me. Otherwise, I wish you a very prosperous 4 months left of the year, and perhaps I'll see some more faces in the weeks to come. Thank you very much.